Welcome to my 29th video, and I will be reviewing the movie that I hate that because it stole Best Picture from a movie that is a lot better. But I love the movie by itself, and I think everybody is a fan of this movie. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks film. I think they also did Castaway together. Winner of 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Forrest Gump is about Forrest and his life. Forrest Gump. He was born different. He learns slower. He comprehends things in a different way. He was born with his legs all weird and shit. I don't know. But when he's in middle school or elementary, he falls in love with this little blonde girl by the name of Jenny, and Jenny proves to be the worst person ever. In mankind, I mean, she's worse than a Queen Bloody Mary. And in cinema, I mean, she's worse than Galvatron in Transformers 4. She is just the worst. Jenny, she just makes me angry, and I think she should just make everybody angry. But Forrest Gump, this very kind, gentle soul, falls in love with this woman that's just forced in there for the sake of a confusing love story.
Okay, I think I'm warm enough now. Your hand is so cold.
So Forrest Gump, he becomes a football star. After he gains, full movement of his legs, he becomes a football star, one of the fastest runners ever, one of the most enduring runners ever. He becomes a ping pong star. He becomes all kinds of crazy stuff, and then he joins the military for the Vietnam War, where he befriends a man by the name of Bubba Gump. Bubba Gump is probably one of the best characters in cinema. He really was my favorite character in this movie, aside from Colonel Dan. Bubba Gump had very little screen time, but he had in my opinion, he had a lot of effect on the audience and on Forrest's character. So they become best friends, but the thing is, Bubba Gump doesn't make it back home. He dies in Vietnam. So he comes back. He finds Colonel Dan. Colonel Dan was their CO when they were over there in Vietnam, and he finds Colonel Dan, and he's basically in a wheelchair without his legs. Colonel Dan is this crazy drunk who hooks up with hookers every night, and he basically joins. Forrest Gump is basically in there with him with the hookers, and Forrest Gump says, "No, don't touch me. I'm with Jenny," or some shit like that. And Colonel Dan kind of proves to be on Forrest's side. Colonel Dan says, "Hey, get away from him. Don't touch him." So that's when Colonel Dan establishes himself as a friendly character to Forrest Gump, and one proves to be one of his closest friends. And then you also got all this side shit with Jenny, which I don't want to talk about because it makes me angry.
We're good friends, aren't we?
Oh, well, you're my most special friend.
And you're mine, too. And I love when you come to see me, and sometimes I wish you'd let me know when you're coming, because I have plans tonight.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi, David, this is Forrest.
Well, we could all spend Mama's $10.
I'm going out with David, just the two of us.
It's just the worst relationship ever. I mean, the final act of the movie. Well, let me backtrack. The entire movie, he is sitting on this bench, and a lot of people. Well, he's waiting on a bus that apparently takes all day to get to that bench. And a lot of people are sitting next to him waiting on their bus, and he's telling them his life story throughout the entire movie. So all the exciting things that happen are flashbacks. The present time is him on that bench telling the stories. So he's waiting on his bus to go to Jenny's house, to find Jenny. He finds Jenny, and then he sees a little kid there. He sees the little kid there, and Jenny says, "Forrest, that's your son." The kid is about 5 years old. 5, 6, 7, whatever. And Jenny has been keeping that secret for way too long. I mean, if it's Forrest's son, he went 5 to 7 years of his life without knowing he had a son, and that's freaking sad. That's sad. Jenny kept him a secret from Forrest, and if that's not his son, then Jenny's forcing this kid on Forrest because he knows Forrest is naive, and Forrest will believe anything that Jenny says. So she probably wants some support, and Forrest is gonna give it to her. And that is one of the worst endings I've ever seen in a movie, especially to a movie this good. This movie is a great film. You want to watch every scene over and over again, except the last one. The last one is so disappointing and just gets you angry from this happy movie. So because I hate Jenny and because I hate the ending, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, this movie is an 8 out of 10. Because I hate that woman with a passion. See you next time for my 30th review. Do not miss that one.